because clean food shouldn't keep secrets. Welcome to Scavenge-ology, the podcast where we're diving into the truth behind what you're eating. Let's get started. Welcome back to Scavenge-ology. I'm your host, Elena, and I'm so excited to dive in to our topic for the month of October. If it was not obvious by the title of this episode or the theme and holiday of the month, today we are going to dive into the healthiest and least healthy Halloween candy for you and your family this season. I'm really excited because Halloween, all you really think about is candy, right? If you're like me, you put the candy corn out in your bowl, you put the Halloween candy out long before the day of trick-or-treating rolls around, and usually I have to buy a second bag by the time it is time for the trick-or-treaters to arrive. Overall, Halloween is just a really fun holiday to celebrate and for children to get dressed up. Sometimes adults like to get dressed up, go to Halloween parties, fill your stomachs with all these tasty treats. But sometimes we have to face the harsh reality of that there are healthy and unhealthy Halloween candies. There are healthier options that we can give our families, that we can pass out even on the night of trick-or-treating. And as we always share here on Scavenge-ology, we like to live a life of balance. We know that sometimes it's okay to indulge a little bit, to have some candy at Halloween, but we want to share some knowledge with you of the healthier choices that you can make and some things you may want to look out for in your Halloween basket. So let's get started with the 5 least healthy Halloween candies. Start at number 5. So I already referenced this once, candy corn. Candy corn is the most iconic Halloween candy, right? It only comes around once a year. You start seeing it stocked up on the shelves late August, late September, and it's always an exciting time because I love, love, love candy corn. But while it's the most iconic, it is almost entirely comprised of sugar, artificial ingredients, and things such as yellow 5, titanium dioxide color, and lots of chemicals. So it's definitely up there on the least healthy Halloween candy options. The next is something that I've never personally really enjoyed, Baby Ruth. So Nestle did vow to remove all artificial ingredients in their candies back in 2015, but they haven't really fully committed to that promise yet. And that is evidenced by Baby Ruth bars. But what's most unhealthy about this candy bar is the sugar content. So in one fun-sized bar, there's 10 grams alone of sugar. And so these are about the size of a quarter, right? Those little tiny, tiny Baby Ruth bars. Sometimes you'll see them at doctor's offices or restaurants just handed out. They're the size of a quarter. They're so tiny, but they have 10 grams of sugar. So imagine what a regular, normal, king-size Baby Ruth bar would consist of, right? It's crazy. The next on our list is Butterfingers. Oh, this is one of my favorite candies, but they contain a whopping 4 grams of fat and 85 calories in one fun-sized tiny candy bar. So while the fat content could be attributed to the nuts, and obviously it's called a Butterfinger, it may be the least healthy option for you compared to Reese's or Reese's Pieces. There's a lot of fat in Butterfingers. The next is Twizzlers. Sometimes people think of Twizzlers and just because, it's like a fruity candy, it's not super chocolatey, people are like, oh, it's healthier, it's lower fat. And they do boast about low fat on their wrappers. But Twizzler has a spot on the list because of its sugar content too. One Twizzler has 5 grams of sugar. So this can promote, cavities and just unhealthy effects of Twizzlers, just like it could for chocolate candies. And the next is one of my other favorites, Sour Patch Kids. So Sour Patch Kids are not very healthy. They have a very high sugar content. They also have a ton of artificial ingredients. They consist of high fructose corn syrup and a bunch of other dyes to give them those fun colors. So, it's hard to love a candy that's clearly not very good for you. And some of these are really, really popular, especially around Halloween, but some of these are enjoyed all year round. Sour Patch Kids, Twizzlers, you have the fruity versions, and then you have, Baby Ruth and Butterfinger, these really rich chocolatey candy bars that people love, but they are just crazy pumped with calories, fats, sugars, and fake dyes, high fructose corn syrup, all of these things. So in moderation, like we say, probably all right here and there at Halloween, but this is something to be mindful of if it's candy that you're eating all the time. With that said, I want to move on to a few healthier Halloween candies. So there are things that are healthier that you can either pass out or you can try to keep stocked in your house around this time of year. We're going to start at the top of the list with Mounds bars. They do have a high fat content. They have 11 grams in a serving, but they have 2 grams of protein because they contain coconut. So it's definitely not something you want to have as a snack, but if you are going to have some chocolate, some rich chocolate, get some protein in there, some quality coconut. The M&M minis, this is one of my favorite toppings on frozen yogurt or ice cream, or just to snack on in those cute little tubes. If you're looking for a low-calorie chocolate option, a 1-ounce tube only contains 150 calories and 7 grams of fat, so they are okay to just grab and go, or have a little tube at the checkout line of the grocery store and not feel too bad about it. The next as a Lindt chocolate bar. So Lindt chocolate is different than, your Hershey's, your Reese's, whatever you are thinking of. It's definitely a more gourmet type of candy. So they have different varieties and different ingredients, but their original bar only has 12 grams of sugar in its 250 calorie serving size. So 250 calories is a bit high, but they have a high cocoa concentration, and so they provide your body with a healthy dose of antioxidants. So that's awesome. The next is going to be a Dove bar with nuts. These bars contain almonds. So almonds, are referred to as a superfood. Dove bars with nuts are one of the healthier options of chocolate because of the vitamin E in the almonds, the healthy fats, the magnesium, the fiber content, and even a little bit of protein. And then number 1 on our list is something I actually really enjoy. So I remember back in college, sometimes for games and things like that, our professor would pass out a bowl of candy. And she always had some really strange and interesting types of candy in the bowl, but she always had Hershey's dark chocolate and sometimes the dark chocolate with almonds. And that was one of my favorite candies, right? The consumption of chocolate dates back thousands of years, way before artificial ingredients. So this is how we know chocolate's not necessarily an unhealthy food. It's just when you pump it full of all the extra sugar and all the extra fats and all of that. So in its pure form, chocolate's one of the healthier foods on the earth, right? But it is associated with junk food because we perceive it as unhealthy. This is because the milk chocolate-based candies typically are unhealthy because they have a higher fat and lower health benefits. But the Hershey's Special Dark Chocolate has a lot of health benefits that come along with dark chocolate. So high nutritional value because of the magnesium, the fiber, the iron, potassium, phosphorus, zinc, selenium, and manganese, which I always mispronounce. They have a lot of antioxidants, which are proven to help reduce the risks of certain types of cancers, can lower blood pressure, and lower the chance of developing heart disease. So unlike other candies, dark chocolate should be encouraged actually in moderation. So if you're gonna steal any candy from the candy basket this Halloween, make sure it's the dark chocolate. And just remember that it's okay to have things and enjoy things in moderation. Just be mindful of what you are putting into your body. Always opt for natural, more healthy, less crazy ingredients. Try to stay away from the dyes, the added sugars, the added fats, and the saturated fats. And I hope that you have a very, very great, safe, and healthy Halloween. Thanks, guys.